What's up, y'all? This is Kami Can, and for a year there was a period where I was watching nothing but videos about artists saying, I make 90K per year, or I make $30,000 per month making my art and selling it online. And I'd watch those videos and I'd think, oh wow, I got the answers now. I'm about to make some money. And I'd always be disappointed because every time I watched one of those videos, I saw the reality of what they were saying and how impossible it was for me to replicate it. The what I noticed was the more different that the actual person was from me and my situation, the harder it would be to actually try to replicate their success. I would look at, okay, I'm making comics. I'm trying to make web comics. I'm trying to sell my stuff online and make a living that way. And then the video would mention like I'm doing commissions, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Some of them said I'm modeling, I'm doing this. I'm like, I don't have that opportunity per se, and I don't have these resources on this side, or I don't have this. And I would look at it and just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to figure out something that I personally can do. And what I was looking for over time was somebody who was closer to what I'm actually producing, what I'm actually putting out there, so that I could replicate their success and then use it for what I'm doing. Because the way into the comic book industry is there's no one single way. There's multiple different ways, and then as soon as you get in to the comic industry in that way, that door closes off forever, and nobody else is allowed to take that direction because everyone's way into the comic industry is different. And when I looked at those videos, almost none of them were about getting into the comic industry per se, and they were mostly about artists who are creating paintings and commissions and that kind of thing for clients. That's real. That's one of the real ways to make a lot of money in this system is to do things that people actually need. Making storyboards for animation studios, or designing characters, or painting backgrounds. Those are the types of skills that actually make money in this industry. And each of those separate skills make far more money than all the combination of those skills in a singular comic book or comic story. You make way more money contributing art to a project that's larger than yourself, because you have people who are the heads of those projects paying you to draw or paint or contribute art to their project. You have people commissioning you for that art. Whereas in comics, I had to really niche down and find who exactly is doing exactly what I'm trying to do, so that I can copy their formula and try to make it happen for me, because there is no exact video like that. There is no other there is no other black guy who draws, writes, colors, who does everything, who does a webcomic that is selling $100,000 of comics per year, that they're writing, drawing, basically doing everything, all the tasks on the comic book, like a webcomic or a manga. And maybe I haven't looked hard enough, but the closest person that I found to doing what I'm trying to do, there's only two that I found in life, and neither of them are men. So one of them has been actually one of my mentors, Ngozi Ukazu. She does this webcomic, or she did this webcomic called Check Please. It actually made a lot of money on Kickstarter, and she's also Nigerian, so I was just like, okay, this is my way to show my parents that I can actually make it in the industry doing what I'm doing. And now I'm studying directly under her to figure out how to make comics and make it work for myself. And the other person is Starfish Face. She does a webcomic and she makes a whole bunch of stickers. And I've watched her videos on marketing and selling her work and her products over and over, just so I can figure out, okay, what can I do to apply that to myself and then make that work for me. Her stuff is the closest to what I'm trying to do in the future, because I've actually spoken to her in person at like a little meet and greet, and she does all of that, and she makes a good living on her own. She does YouTube videos, she does the comics, she does stickers, she's actually outlined her whole basic business model of what she does to make money. She goes to conventions, sells her books, all that kind of stuff. And she's been doing her webcomic for over 7 years. So I'm like, okay, I'm in year, let's say 2 of actually putting out my stuff, or trying to actually succeed in the comics industry, or put myself out there so that I can market my book. And 2 is not 7. I just have to put in more time to get to the point where I can make more money. But for now, I think those 2 are the best model that I have, because every other video that I watch like that is either unrealistic for my exact position in life, and I just have to figure out how to make it work for myself. One of the main reasons why I figured out that I couldn't copy those business models is very simple. It's because they just live different lives than I do. There's no telling exactly who or what is behind their ability to make comics. Some people could be living with parents, living alone, or they have a spouse that's taking care of the bills while they try to make something happen in comics. You never know who's backing somebody. You never know who they have access to. You don't know their personal stamina to be able to draw for long periods of time, and you don't know what special advantages that they have that you personally do not have. They could also be living in other countries that makes it easier to do certain things and then harder to do other things. It's also a factor of time and resources. The longer you stay in business, the longer you stay in business, meaning the more years you actually survive as a business, the more assets you generate that you're able to sell in terms of prints, stickers, coffee mugs, merch, that kind of thing in relation to your property. But if you're just starting out and you don't have a backlog of comics or products to sell, it's going to be hard, and it's going to be very difficult to get to the point where you're making 100K per year, or you're making even 30K per year, because you just don't have that backlog of things or items to sell. You also don't have the necessary fan base that's built up over a period of time to actually be interested in the stuff you're putting out. I also hate drawing commissions. I don't like wasting any time drawing anyone else's stuff. I like drawing my own comic and trying to build up my own ideas like a mangaka would, and I'm not even consistent at doing that. And then on top of that, I can't afford to go to conventions. I have to just work as much as I possibly can at home and save up money from my job and just try to make it work that way. Basically, at the end of the day, it's all about figuring out what works best for you as an artist. These business videos or these marketing videos that tell you, oh, this is what I do for this, and that. All you can do is hope that it has some kind of overlap or crossover with what you're trying to do or what you're trying to sell as an artist, so that you can learn and pick up a couple of things from them and help yourself survive longer, so that you can continue to do this and eventually make a living at it full time. But if you want to check out the work that I have, you can click the links in the description and you'll find Air Rider High School Hero, my comic that I made to practice comics, and I hope you enjoy. That'll be all for now for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.